give you a break. Will, this question is for you. Glad to see you tonight.
Good to see you. What town are you from?
I'm from Norwalk, so I live right in Rowayton, but not a constituent of yours. However, I was acutely aware of a number of bills that you've proposed. One of which that stands out to me most, and probably a lot of people who have been reading the bills, was the one about the ammunition tax. Now, I have my own thoughts about that bill, but I'd certainly like to hear, a little bit more of like your perspective and what you hope to accomplish with that bill. And then, if you could give the floor back to me, I'd love to share with you some of my ideas.
I'd be happy to do that. Bob and Lucy will laugh. So, for those who aren't familiar, I proposed a variety of gun violence prevention bills in this last session. One was a bill to ban ghost guns. One was a bill to crack down on the open carry laws that prohibit law enforcement officers from asking an individual who is openly carrying a weapon to see the permit that allows them to do so. Another one that I proposed, and I think the one that you're referring to, is a 50% tax on ammunition. Now, Connecticut is the highest cigarette tax in the country. We tax all sorts of things that impose a public health cost. Gun violence in this country does impose massive costs to our public health system. In fact, it's $212 billion a year in the United States, $770 for every single gun that's owned. So what I'm hoping to do with this legislation is say, I respect the Second Amendment. There are members of my family who enjoy hunting, but that hobby that you have creates an industry, a gun industry where large manufacturers sell weapons that sometimes get into the wrong hands. And when those weapons get into the wrong hands, it imposes a public health cost on society, and we're asking you to pick up some of that cost. Now, a part of the research, right now, ammunition is taxed at 6.35%, the sales tax. It's standard across just about every other good that's sold. I'd like to bring it up. 50% was a conversation starter. I'd be more than happy if we bring it up to where cigarettes are. But for 50 bullets for a 9mm gun, right now it costs $10. Well, really, $10.06 with that tax on. This would bring up the cost to $15. I don't think that's so much to ask of the gun community to pay for the public health crisis that has stemmed from gun violence. But
well, I thank you for sharing that with us. So I guess a couple things that come to mind, as you share that with all of us is, I think to equate a constitutional right with a hobby is a little bit of a disservice, to say the least. I don't think that, for instance, to equate gun violence to, to kind of break it down, by its parts and decide that, for every gun that's owned is $700. Well, there's millions of guns in the United States, and a lot of them do nothing. So I don't know if you've ever been to the gun range or anything, but I'd love to have the opportunity to take you out and at least show you, this is not like. Yeah, I'm glad you find that funny. But this is not. To equate it to smoking. Just it kind of lets me know that maybe you're, and I might be wrong, but to me it says that you perhaps need a little bit of help in understanding what exactly it is. And I'd like to give you, and especially you ladies, I'd love to take you all out to the gun range and show you that it's really not a violent thing.
Well, let's chat
afterwards. It's violent people, and I think that's what the real problem is.
I appreciate your perspective. I'd be happy to chat afterwards. Like I said, I respect the Second Amendment, which, by the way, has the words well regulated in it. But nowhere in the Second Amendment does it say that you have a right to own a gun cheaply, that you can buy low-cost bullets, right? It doesn't say anything in the Second Amendment about making that free to everybody. So I think asking folks to pay a little bit more for the public health crisis that we have created and that is unique to this country because of the millions of guns that are owned is not so much to ask. And the idea for the bill, frankly, or rather my support of it stems from the fact that Richfield, the town that I represent, any Richfield folks here today? That's a long way to drive. But they paid $1 million last year to improve school security. I view that as a tax imposed by the NRA because we're not passing common sense gun violence prevention measures, and instead we have to build our schools into fortresses. So local property.
So just to be very clear, your position is that if you cannot afford your right to self-defense, then that should not, be something that you're apportioned. So if you can't afford a
Well,
gun
imagine
and
if
the
that worked,
ammunition.
then we would have to give a gun out to every single person.
No, I'm not saying giving a gun out. I'm saying if you can't afford the ammunition tax, you said, if you can't afford it, does that mean you shouldn't have it?
It's not a right to have free bullets or a free.
I didn't say it was a right to have free bullets. I said if you cannot afford it, so if you are, deciding between dollars to put in your gas tank or to pay the tolls with, you're not going to have that extra dollar to spend on ammunition. So does that mean you shouldn't have it?
The ammunition already costs $10, so we're not saying.
Right.
I'm not worried about it.
Thank you.
We'll